We get this insane transformation as Aza turns into a charred red homunculus as he heeds Gabimaru's words and zeroes in on protecting his brother. The issue is that he loses 99.9% of his self-control, so just like Clorox wipes that kill 99% of germs, it's basically over for that other 0.1%. Bro immediately gets on timing after transforming and repelling our favorite eater. Bro didn't even raise a finger either. The red flesh vines just launched out of his body like he was Venom or Carnage from Spider-Man. Had that boy Gabimaru ducking and dodging for dear life. Gabimaru pulls out a pyro bridge when he tries to get on the offensive, but Aza used his flesh vine to shield himself and jump up and get a concussive down slam on Gabimaru. He launches back up and sends vines down his way, but Gabimaru manages to block and launch an ascetic blaze attack to clear some room. We finally see Aza as he's inside of this black space, and we can only assume that it's his own mind, and he channels all his hatred and focus on the swirling vortex of black that he could barely see Gabimaru through. His attacks get more and more vicious as he sends a barrage at my goat and forced him to break out the gymnastic floor routine like he was Simone Biles at the Olympics just so he could evade. May then realizes that Gabimaru is in dire straits because he doesn't remember how to properly use Tao, so he's just burning through it at a ridiculous pace. Bro just wasted his entire canister of nitro at the beginning of the race. Gang, you need that at the end. Gabimaru peeps it as well, recognizing that if he tries to pull out another blaze attack, he's going to effectively turn himself into a t-shirt with a long-lived Gabby on the front. Just before he resolves to sacrifice himself, the hand of his wife touches his shoulder and holds him back, giving him a very near realization. After seeing Aza prepare for another attack though, he rushes in again, continuing to damage himself in the process. Toma realizes what Tamiya was saying earlier about his brother always fighting to protect him, while he got to enjoy the benefits of it without having to deal with the risks involved. But this only happened because he realized just how far his brother would go in order to protect him, even if it meant mutilating and surrendering himself to chaos. As a result, Toma does what any loving little brother would do and jumped in between Gabimaru and his brother. Luckily, he got through to his brother's mind at the last second because one vine went through his right arm and he was very nearly avoiding getting chopped up like the ground meat that's on the shelf at your local grocery store. While Toma talks some sense to his bro, Gabimaru decided he didn't want to hear any of that and wanted to take a chance to slime Aza out. So bro tried to use the rest of his Tao on a final attack, but May stepped in at the last second to save the day. She used Rock Slide on the ground and Aza fell down, but he managed to toss Toma back up top at the very last second, telling bro to wait for him. Part of the reason he couldn't save himself though was because Gabimaru attempted to jump from rock to rock in order to escape the hole and then kicked a boulder straight at bro's head. And you remember how the blob torso guy got one shot by Fuchi before? Bro is apparently not dead and is just tore up from the floor up, because we see bro gasping for air while Fuchi took the hook part of his sword and used it to drag bro's body across the dirt on his way to check on May. And oh my goodness, May. I'm not into lollies, so she didn't do anything for me before, even though she's technically over 1,000 years old. But this gets me purring like a kitten. Meow.
Really, nigga?
Yeah, I'm overly tripping. Let me lock back in.
Meanwhile,
so we switch over to Sagari and the gang headed towards the entrance of the castle, and they conveniently run into the remnants of Gabimaru's party. They didn't even have to go search more than 20 feet outside of the gate. Everybody started catching up while Fuchi mourned the death of his fellow Asaimon. And I'm just now remembering that despite being fat with glasses, bro was pretty chill and cool for real. Had Fuchi bawling out tears from his eyes for that day one that he lost. They take count and realize that only 8 of them survived, which means that over half of the original expedition party got sent to the Shadow Realm.
I don't understand why you even did this to yourself. This made you look so fucking stupid.
The old man tries to dispatch Toma for his previous treacherous actions, but Sagari stands up for him and even prepares to fight him over it. Yuzuriha breaks the tension by asking about Gabimaru's condition, and we finally get back onto a productive path. He's literally on the brink of death, but manages to stand up, and while not recognizing anybody, he sits down to prepare his next move. When Shion tells him that he needs help or else it's over for him, he straight up tells him that it doesn't matter. And at this point, the alarm bells are going off inside of Sagari's head, because the Gabimaru that she knew was determined to stay alive no matter what for the sake of seeing his wife again. She looks down at bro and just straight up asks him, "Who are you?" And he responds, "Gabimaru, the Hollow." And that told her everything she needed to know, because that was effectively the answer that his past self would have given, not the Gabimaru that she had come to know and respect. He tries to lunge and attack her, but Fuchi and Shion repel him just as he got close to her. She explains that his Tao is messing with his memories, and Shion sees bro as just a husk of himself, almost a scarecrow with how small his amount of Tao energy had become. She tells the rest of them that she has it under control and walks down on bro. He wonders if he should strike, but something about her presence stirs something from deep within him. She explains that by exchanging Tao, he can start healing, and even take steps forward by calling herself an important ally of his before asking him to trust her. Of course, he swats her hands away repeatedly until she's had enough and just knocks him over with the sheath of her sword. I was hoping that it would get more freaky, but it didn't. And honestly, I was expecting something more similar to how freaked out the immortal beings were being inside of their paradise land. But we did get a scene of her sitting on top of bro while pinning him down to the ground in order to circulate her energy within him. She manages to remind him about a special someone that he has to get back to, and at that point we realized our goat was back in the game. We jump back to Aza, who we finally see land at the bottom of the chasm and question what the extent of his powers were. Bro wanted to train, and he got the perfect opportunity because mad transfigured creatures pulled up on him. They thought that boy was free eats. Unfortunately for them though, they were the free eats. Bro literally said, "Your flesh better taste really good." Like, bro, what? We jump back to the reunited gang inside the cave that they managed to find. They talk about the Tensen, and Gabimaru reveals that his memories are slowly returning. Bro even apologized for the trouble he caused earlier too. But things take a turn when he mentions his wife as Yuzuriha breaks the news to him. She's most likely an illusion created by the head of the village to control Gabimaru. At first, the guy looks shocked, but instead of quitting and going home, he elects to continue hunting for the elixir of life for the sake of making it back to either confirm or deny the existence of his bae. Yuzuriha tries to dissuade him again, but he doubles down, talking about her long and soft fingers, her lovely voice, and even her smell. Bro even remembered her name was Yui. His story was so convincing that it raised everybody's morale and mood, and they even decided to back him up until they get back to the mainland in order to find out the truth. We jump back to Aza and we see that he absolutely cooked those frauds. And I'm so serious when I say Gabimaru was an eater against Aza, but against anybody else, Aza is the ultimate eater. Bro is just gobbling down transfigured humans like he was Mahito or something. But then we get the most ominous pull-up of the entire season thus far. Rain pulled up behind him looking fresh to death in his robes before asking him if he was the one that slimed out Mudan. If you rock with the vid, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back with another one next week. And like I always say, AYC, what you got for me?
A few moments later.
Your theme is peace.